Okay, this video is on factor by grouping. So pages 7 and 8 in your packet have factor by grouping. The difference between this and just normal factoring the polynomials is that factoring by grouping can only happen when you have 4 terms. So those of you who use the Darth Vader or split the middle to factor, you already know how to factor by grouping because that is what the whole thing is all about. You purposely split the middle to make it so that it is 4 terms so that you can factor by grouping. So if you use the Darth Vader method, you don't need to watch this video. If you use the box method, however, then you probably got confused on your test when you saw something that looked like number 2 here. So this is on page 7 in your packet. And when we look at this, it has x to the third plus 2x squared minus 9x minus 18. There are 4 terms there, and you guys are not used to seeing something like that. So a lot of you want to take the first and the last term and multiply, but we only do that when it's trinomials. This is not a trinomial, it's a polynomial because it has 4 terms. So factoring by grouping, again, we already taught you this, but I'm going to show you one more example just in case. So when we factor by grouping, it has to be 4 terms. We take the first 2 terms and group them together, and the second 2 terms and group them together. Then what we do is we figure out the GCF of the first pair. So x to the third plus 2x squared, the GCF there is x squared. So I'm going to take an x squared out of there, and I'm left with x plus 2. Then I'm going to look at my second pair and I'm going to determine my GCF. So negative 9x minus 18, I'm going to divide both of those by negative 9 because I can, and I'm left with x plus 2. Well, now when I look at this, I have a match here, x plus 2. So you are going to take that x plus 2 and you're going to write it once. I'm essentially going to factor it out, and then I'm going to take my leftovers, which are x squared and minus 9, and I'm going to put those in their own set of parentheses. And that is how you factor by grouping. So you should be able to look through your notes, and I know for sure that we did numbers 1 and 4, and I know we did some on the next page as well. So pages 7 and 8 are all about factoring by grouping. If you have a GCF first, like take a look at number 10, take out the GCF, and then we ignore it, and we're going to look at our factoring by grouping here instead, and then the 2 will just tag along. Okay, so pages 7 and 8 is all about factoring by grouping. You can work on those.